Okay, so today we're going to go over how to install Node. You can see over on the left we have the Node website. So if you're on Windows, you can hit download, click on the Windows installer. If you're on Mac, you can click on the Mac installer. And if you're on some other version of Linux, you can click on the source code and download that. And you can check out installing with a package manager. Now I prefer to have a little more control over what versions Node has running on my computer. So what I use is called Node Version Manager. So this is the GitHub repository for Node Version Manager. You can see github.com/creationix/nvm. And it has pretty clear instructions on how to install it, but we'll just go through the process. First, you need to have a C++ compiler and Git installed on your computer. I won't be covering that in this particular video. So once you have that, you can type git clone, and then you need to grab the GitHub repository URL, which you can grab from this line down here, or you can grab right here. Just paste that in. And what this is doing is saying you're going to use the Git protocol to clone this repository, and then we're going to put it in the root and then in the nvm folder. Now I've already done this, so once you have it cloned, you can source it in /.nvm, because that's where you put it, and then run the nvm shell. And now if you run nvm.ls, you should come up with a list of all the Node versions that are currently accessible. Now there was an issue with the version 0.5.x releases where they didn't show up. So anything higher than that, 5.x, 6.x, doesn't show up unless you have it actually installed. To install a Node version, the latest being version 0.6.10, we're going to do nvm install the 0.6.10. And that'll run through the make process and the configure process, and it'll install Node for you. And then you'll be able to do node-v, or actually, I'm using version 4.12 right now, so I'm going to nvm use the 0.6.10 since I just installed it. It says now using node 6.10. So now if I do node-v, I'm using 6.10. Which is really great if you have a legacy project in version 4, or if you're going to have a legacy project in version 6 and they jump to version 8 and then 1.0. So that's my preferred way of installing and using Node. It'll also install npm, which is Node Package Manager, which allows you to do things like npm install express, which is an easier way to write a web server. So now that we have Node installed, we can just type node, and now we're in the Node REPL. A REPL is a read, eval, print loop. Read as in it reads whatever you type in. So if I say variable x equals 10, it reads it, it evaluates what that means, it prints out the return value, which in this case it doesn't really return anything, and then it repeats. So if I type x, now I have 10 because x returns 10. And you can do all sorts of things with the REPL. You can create functions, you can load in JavaScript files and then execute functions. It's actually a really powerful tool. So that's it for installing Node. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments.